All right, so it's one after. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Chair Yoga. So glad to have you here. We've made it to the weekend. Hopefully, you get to rest a little bit this weekend or go out and have some fun and enjoy the beautiful spring weather. So, to get started, let's go ahead and slide to the back of our chairs and just go inward for a moment, kind of start to turn off all that and tune into all of this. If it's comfortable for you, please have your feet flat on the floor and your eyes closed. You can just lean into the back of your chair. And as you settle in, just take a few deep breaths in and out. Taking a few breaths here and just very consciously remind yourself that you're about to practice chair yoga and meditation, and that this is time that you've consciously set aside in your day to take care of you, take care of your body, to take care of your energetic state, to take care of your mind, and that any to-do list, any anticipations or ruminations of the past, any of that can wait. It can come right back if it wants to at the end of class, but for this time period that we have together, allow yourself to be present and allow yourself to not have to worry about anything else. Now, it's a hard practice, but allow that to be your intention for the practice. To be present, to be in this body, to be here now. One of the easiest ways to really help facilitate that sense of presence is the simple awareness of your breath. Feeling that inhale, your body expanding, the lungs filling. Feeling that exhale, the body contracting, the lungs emptying. Allowing that breath to be your call to this present moment. So whenever you find your mind drifting into the past or the future or fantasy, you can use this breath to call yourself back to now. So take just a few more of these centering, present breaths. Each breath giving yourself more permission to be here now, to not have to worry about anything else. And then go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. And allow your eyes to open, slowly bringing yourself back to our class. All right, so I'm going to have you slide to the edge of your chair and have your knees about hip width apart, heels stacking underneath. Nice, stable stance. And we'll start today with some neck rolls. So sitting tall, the spine elongated, go ahead and drop your left ear to your left shoulder. Feeling that stretch on the right side of the neck, and then bring the head back up to center, and then just tilt it in the other direction, right ear to right shoulder. And then come back up and just do this a few more times, just seesawing from side to side, moving slowly, starting to notice the stretch in the neck and any tension that makes that feel a little bit more sensitive. Side to side. So much tension gets stored in the neck. Taking deep breaths. And then we're going to build on to this a little bit. So take your left ear to your left shoulder, then roll forward, bring your chin to your breastbone, and then keep rolling to bring your right ear to your right shoulder. And then reverse that. Bring the chin down again and roll back to the first side. And just continue making these half moon circles. ear to shoulder, chin to sternum, ear to shoulder. Now, as you move from side to side, rolling on the neck, just take deep breaths, especially if you are sensing tension, pain, discomfort. Just inviting all of that tension in the neck to start to pull away. A whole week's worth of tension at least. Maybe let the head be heavy if that feels okay for you. We'll just do a few more rounds, a few more breaths. Let's do one more time from side to side. And if there is a point in this half moon circle that feels important to you, like that stretch just is the one you've been looking for, go ahead and stop at that point. And just take 3 to 4 deep breaths into that important feeling stretch. Good. And then bring your chin down to your sternum and then lift the head back up to neutral and notice sensation in the shoulders, the neck from having done that exercise. I have to be careful with myself sometimes because I do these practices with you and I find myself just really vibing with them. And that was one right there. So we could have done that for another 10 minutes. I'd have been happy. But we're gonna continue on with another practice. This one is going to involve both movement and a little bit of force for your breath. And so it's called the bellows breath, and it means a forced inhalation and a forced exhalation. Now, this won't be like a sharp breath at all, but there will be a strong pulling in and a strong pushing out. So the breath without the movement looks like this. Hopefully you can hear it. Okay, so it's that strong pulling in through the nostrils, strong pushing out. And if you go too quickly, you'll start to feel really lightheaded. And that just means you need to slow down even more. Now the movement is pretty simple. We're just moving from a forward fold back up to a tall spine. So I'll turn sideways, you can keep facing forward. So what it looks like is I'll take a deep breath in, sitting up tall, then I'll exhale, just bend the elbows and fold forward. And then I'll press the hands into the thighs, straighten the arms, coming back up, inhale, and then exhale, fold down. So without talking, it looks like okay. And this just helps to warm up the body. It warms up the shoulders because we're moving the arms, helps to warm up the lower back. It helps to tonify the core and the nervous system. And again, if you start to feel lightheaded, slow both the movement and the breath down. And if you can, try to breathe exclusively through your nostrils. Okay, so let's give that a shot. Knees are still hip width apart, heels stacking underneath. Have the hands on the knees with the arms straight and take a deep breath in. Then exhale, bend the elbows, fold down over the thighs. Then forceful inhale, sit back up, straighten the arms. And then forced exhale, fold forward. And just continue on your breath. Going for a little bit longer. We're going to do about a minute total. So you're close to halfway, actually. few more rounds. Last one. Then inhale, sit up. And then exhale, soft exhale. Breathe normally. Stay in a tall spine. You might keep the eyes closed. You might open them. Feel sensation. It might feel like a lightness in the body, maybe a tingling on the surfaces of your skin. The brain might feel really clear. That breath helps to oxygenate the blood. You might actually feel an increase in circulation or effective circulation. And then allow your eyes to open if they're not already, bringing yourself back slowly. That's also an energizing practice. So you might feel a bit more awake after doing that one. So next time you want to reach for that cup of coffee, spend a minute doing that. All right, let's do a little bit of twisting now. So keeping the knees and feet in the same position, go ahead and reach the arms up and over. Then exhale, take your right arm forward, take your left hand behind you, either onto the back of the chair or the side of your chair, okay? And right hand is on the outside of the left thigh. Now sit up as tall as you can here. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, roll the left shoulder back, looking behind you as far as you can. And we're just gonna hold this twist for about 4 to 5 deep breaths. After that bellows breath practice, you might actually feel like you can really take a deep breath now. The lungs are nice and clear. One more breath here, twisting to your furthest point with an exhale. Then inhale, carefully unwind back to center. Spend a moment feeling sensation. And then we're going to go ahead and balance that out by doing the other side. So reach the arms up, please. And then take your left arm forward, take your right hand behind you. Again, the hand goes on the back of the chair or the side of the chair, left hand on the outside of the right thigh. Sit up as tall as you can and take a deep breath in. Then exhale, roll the right shoulder back, look behind you, twist. Again, staying for about 4 to 5 deep breaths. Staying for one more breath, twisting to your furthest point with the exhale. Then inhale, spiral to unwind. Sitting up tall, take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge at the hips and just fold over your thighs. And we're going to stay for a couple of breaths. And you can keep the hands on the thighs. You could also hang the arms toward the floor. Release the head, feeling the chin drop toward your throat and the back of the neck open. With the front body pressing into your thighs, you might start to feel some movement in your back body as you breathe. Good. All right. Inhale, sit back up. Good. A little bit of an energizing practice so far. We haven't done much work for the shoulders yet, so let's go ahead and work with that. So go ahead and lift your left arm up and over, and then go ahead and bend the elbow, bringing the hand behind the head. And then with your right hand, reach up and grab either the forearm or the elbow and just pull it toward the center of the body, the center line of the body a bit. Now, your free hand behind you, the left hand, you're going to bring that toward your spine, bending the elbow a little bit sharper. Now, sometimes when you do that, you start to round the back. And if that's happening for you, I'm going to ask you to sit up as tall as you can. Good. Keeping the breath deep. Noticing when there's some discomfort here, because this is not the most comfortable pose. I know, I know. But let's breathe a bit longer, because when we can hold this for a bit, the release we get out of it when we come out of the pose is much greater, much greater. So a little discomfort now for a big release in just a few moments. Sit up just a bit taller, one more breath. Now don't drop the arm. Slowly release that left arm, kind of feeling it unfurl. You'll start to feel some circulation, some warmth in the arm and hand, maybe some tingling, and also this relief in the shoulder girdle. Like there's so much tension wound up in there, or at least there was till now. Good, especially comparing it, the sensation in the left shoulder and arm to what's going on in the right might feel vastly different at this point. But I'm going to make sure we balance it out because I want you to walk out like this. So when you're ready, go ahead and take the right arm, reach it up and over, bend the right elbow, hand coming behind the head. Left hand reaches up, grab the forearm or elbow and draw that arm toward the center line of your body. The free hand behind you, the right hand, bend the elbow a little bit deeper and bring it toward your spine as much as you can. And again, if your back starts to round as you do that, sit up a bit taller. And we're going to take those deep breaths we've been practicing. Breathing with any discomfort that arises, especially if this is your dominant arm and hand. There might be more tension because you use this side more if this is your more dominant arm or hand. Sit up a bit taller. We'll take about 2 to 3 more breaths here. Allow those to be big, deep breaths. Now again, don't drop the arm. Slowly let that right arm release as if it's unwinding, unfurling to your side, and feel all of the sensation that comes with that release. Good. Nice warm arms, I'm feeling. Some tingling. Good. So let's do a little bit more work for the upper body by creating some extension. So reaching both arms overhead, I'm going to have you interlace your fingers once you're there, and then turn the palms away from your head and reach up through the wrists. Now it's tempting here as you start to reach up to start to feel a little bit of a back bend happening in your lower back. And if that's happening for you, I want you to strengthen your core a bit. So pull the navel toward your spine, tuck the tailbone under, just shrug the tailbone under just a little bit and flatten out the lower back just a bit. Really stabilize it in its natural curve. And then reach up again. And then you'll start to feel a bit more length happening in the upper back. Good. Take a deep breath in and reach. And then carefully, slowly, softly release the arms back down. Good. So we're going to come back into that last position, but we're going to do a bit more work there. I'll turn sideways. You keep facing forward. Go ahead and reach the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms away from you. Good. Now, again, I'm going to instruct you to stabilize the lower back. So shrug the tailbone under. Pull the navel toward the spine. Reach through the wrists. Then begin to do a back bend with the upper back. So turn the chest to look toward the ceiling. Now you got to really work hard here to keep the lower back stable so that you're taking all of the back bend into the upper back, especially around the shoulder blades. This is where we start to notice the tightness, both in the spine of the upper back, but also like the muscles of the chest, the connection of the sternum to the ribs, reach through the arms, stabilize the core, stay for 2 breaths more. Good. And then go ahead and take a deep breath in and exhale, release the arms on down. Good, good. All right, let's just go ahead and fold at the hips, just coming down over the thighs for a moment. And again, your hands can stay on your thighs or you can hang them to the floor. And feel that length in the back of your body. Good. All right, go ahead and roll yourself on up. We have a couple more postures to do. So there's a couple of options for this next one, because for various reasons, some of us might not be able to do it. And so I'll teach the posture that is the option. And then I'll teach you a couple of ways that you can do something else if it doesn't work for you. And so this is called a folding twist. And so you'll have your palms together and your elbows straight out to the sides. And then you're going to bring one elbow across to the top of the opposite thigh. And so that you can twist here. Now, if that's too far for you, it's completely fine. There's a couple of options you can do instead. Instead of bringing the elbow across, you can bring it to the same side knee and work a twist here. If that's not working for you, we did a great twist earlier that you can still do, which is bringing the hand behind you and twisting across. You can never do too many twists in my mind. So any of those options is what we're going to practice. We'll spend a few breaths on each side, and then we'll come up and do something else. So if you're doing the fold, bring the palms together, take a deep breath in, and then take your right elbow across to the top of your left thigh or knee. Again, if you can't make it that far, bring it onto the right thigh or knee, okay? And then press the palms together, roll the left shoulder back, maybe even look up. And breathe. Staying for one more deep breath, twisting to your furthest point with an exhalation. And then carefully inhale, unwind. Feel for a moment. And then we'll see what that feels like doing it on the other side. So palms together, elbows wide, take a deep breath in. Then exhale, take the left elbow across the top of the right thigh or knee. Again, if you don't make it that far, it's okay, bring it onto the left. Press the palms together. With a big exhale, roll the right shoulder back, looking up if you can. Staying for a few breaths. Last breath, twisting to your furthest point, exhalation. Then inhale, carefully unwind. And release. Now, hopefully you didn't eat too much for lunch before we got here, or else these twists might be a bit uncomfortable. So just to help kind of do a symmetrical posture before we go into our meditation, sit tall and then do a spinal flex. So open the chest toward the ceiling, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, hinge at the hips and dramatically fold down over the thighs. Good. Hands can be on the thighs, or again, they can hang toward the floor. Release the neck, chin dropping toward the throat, the back of the neck opening. All right, inhale, roll yourself on up. Great job. All right, so let's spend the last few minutes we have together in a meditation. So sliding to the back of your chair, feet flat on the floor, and you can sit up straight or you could relax into the back of your chair, whatever feels most supportive for your practice in this moment. But allow the eyes to close. And as your body settles in after this stretching and movement, feel your breath, aware of the inhale and aware of the exhale. And we'll practice a technique called the even breath. So the goal is to make the length of your inhale equal to the length of your exhale. And a way to do that is you can count the breath. You could inhale for a certain number of counts and exhale for an equal number of counts. And a count is whatever you use for internal measurement. It could be an estimated second, the sound of a word or syllable. Just do your best now, inhaling for a certain number of counts and exhaling for an equal number of counts. We'll just follow that rhythm for a few minutes. Inhaling for a certain number of counts and exhaling for an equal number of counts. And your mind may wander, and you just bring it back to this even breath. We'll continue for just a few more rounds of breath. And as you complete this next even exhalation, relax the technique and just feel the effects of this practice, both the even breath and the more energizing work we did with our physical practice. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring the palms together in front of you and rub the palms together, creating heat. And take those warm palms over your eyes. Brushing back over the top of your head and down your neck, carefully, slowly welcoming yourself back to the space around you. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here for this practice. I hope it serves you well, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Take care. Thank you.